Hello and welcome to the National Weather Service Missoula planning briefing for Thursday, March 2nd, 2023. As we get going here, we'll take a look at our key points moving forward. We're looking at some snow bands developing on Friday, periods of light snow through next week. We'll see those kind of on the back half of the weekend and through next week as well, just periods of light snow. And overall, we're just looking at a pattern where temperatures are going to be well below average through next week as well. Here's just a general look at the flow pattern going on right now and into next week. You see we have just general troughing across the west and out across the Pacific Ocean there to our west as well, and a pretty strong ridge that's developed to our east out across the eastern part of the United States and across parts of the Midwest. And so we're just going to be in this cooler pattern with little impulses of energy moving up and over that's going to bring us those chances of light snow that I mentioned. And speaking of the snow bands on Friday, here's just a look at one model's depiction of what it could look like Friday afternoon and evening. And you see we're really just looking at those bands setting up across the area, kind of oriented west to east and just kind of scattered throughout. So it's not going to be a big snow event as far as any amounts go, but what we're looking at when these snow bands do develop is that we could see reduced visibility, some gusty winds, and some impacts on roadways while the snow is falling primarily, and then afterwards we could see pretty good melting during the afternoon as well. So we're not looking at big snow totals, but again, as the snow is falling, these bands set up, that's when we're really looking at potential impacts from the snow that falls. Just to kind of highlight the lower end amounts that I was talking about, here's our current forecast for snow totals through Friday evening. Again, they're very light. When you're looking at the valley locations, you're only seeing a trace to an inch, maybe squeezing out 2 inches in some spots that get a little more. Really the accumulating snow is primarily in the mountains, in the terrain, and at mountain passes where you could see 2 or 3 inches. Primarily would be some of the higher totals that we could see. Places like Lookout Pass getting over 3 inches, Lolo Pass around that 3-inch mark as well. So those would be the higher totals. Again, lower amounts in the valleys, but still impacts possible when those snow bands do set up and move through. Temperature-wise, this is just a little screenshot on Monday. You're looking at the European model on the left and the GFS on the right. But you see the blues and the purple colors across the Northern Rockies. That just shows temperatures that are pretty significantly below average for this time of year heading through next week. A little bit of difference on exactly how cold it gets, and that has to do with a cold front that's trying to push across the Continental Divide by the end of the weekend and early next week. But regardless of how far west that front comes, we're still looking at this cooler period with temperatures next week. And that's also highlighted here on the Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. And you see the entire Northern Rockies, Montana, Idaho, high likelihood of below average temperatures in the 6 to 10 day period. Precipitation, we're looking pretty much near normal, maybe slightly above. And again, it's just looking at some of those impulses that are going to move through and bring us light snow from time to time. One thing we will keep an eye on heading into next week is where the snow and the moisture could interact with the colder air to our north and east that moves across. We could see some intensification of the snow where that boundary sets up. So that's one thing to watch as we head into next week. And just quick perspective here, just how much cooler than average are we talking? So this period of March 6th through the 10th, here's a quick look at where those average high temperatures should be in Missoula, Kalispell, Butte, and Grangeville. And you see we're looking at the low to mid 40s, even upper 40s in Grangeville, the average highs for this coming week. And there's below that, the forecasted high temperatures that you see are much colder, really hanging out in the 30s in a lot of locations, and even at the beginning of the week, potentially in the 20s in Kalispell and Butte. A quick look at our weather threat matrix here as we begin to wrap things up and take a look at our summary once again. So that is going to do it for our planning briefing today, Thursday, March 2nd. And if you have any questions, you can always reach us by email or give us a call here at the office. And we hope to talk to you at our next weather briefing. Thank you.